May not have heard of the group known as Acorn. It's registered hundreds of thousands of new voters, and it could be in some legal trouble now over voter fraud allegations. Drew Griffin with CNN's Special Investigations Unit has just gotten some new information for us. This all captured our attention when you showed up these places, and they just simply didn't exist.
Right. I mean, this is Lake County, Indiana, but Acorn's in trouble all across the country with its huge voter registration drive. Actually, 1.3 million new voters registered according to Acorn. The problem is, are they really voters? Up in Lake County, Indiana, they're finding out they are not. Some 5,000 applications came in, all filled out by Acorn, and there they are. They went through the first 2,100 of them, every single one of them fraudulent. And I want to show you, Kira, just how they know. Okay. All right? So these are the ladies that have to go through it. Here are some of the samples they gave me. Take a look at this one. Here is Bob States, Tara Strongs, and Shay Bones all signing on the same day. Obviously, these are all the same person filling out the same signatures. If you just look at the S's, that's one, okay? So that's all fake. Here's Levy McIntosh. Levy McIntosh, he registered to vote. Let me get the date here. It's 8108. You get that, Robert? I'll get my hand out of the way. 8108. He registered to vote in Lake County. The problem is, Levy died. Levy died on November 16th of 2007. All right, so it's going to be very hard for him to vote, let alone register to vote as a new voter in Lake County. So that's obvious fraud. And here is the other one that they gave me as a clear example. It's kind of funny. Jimmy John's, and this street address. Jimmy John's is actually a sub shop named Jimmy John's.
Did you go get a sub?
I went there and I looked for a voter. I didn't get a sub. Yeah.
You got an Italian sub versus an actual person that voted.
Yeah, it would be funny if this wasn't all criminal. And in fact, the Indiana Secretary of State has now asked for an investigation. We have a letter that he is sending to the Attorney General, I believe, calling for an investigation, saying I've secured credible evidence of fraud in the voter registration process. He wants the Lake County District Attorney and the Secretary of State and even the U.S. Attorney to get involved with this investigation.
You know what, not only is it not funny, but it's such a waste of time. And if you look at what we went through, you know, in previous elections, you know, from hanging chads to voter irregularities, I mean, we're talking about our country right now, dealing with an economic crisis, a war in Iraq, a war in Afghanistan. And, you know, for people to do this, it's a shame. It just wastes more time. And you wonder if the process will even, that your vote will count.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the credibility has dropped in the system, no matter which way Lake County votes. Lake County, heavily Democratic, by the way. Which way it votes, either side now is going to have ammunition to say, oh, there's probably voter fraud. And keep in mind, those ladies that we showed who checking through,
right,
fraudulent or not, legally they have to check and verify every single one of these. So they are working 12, 14-hour days up there just trying to verify what they already know is fake. Now, what does Acorn say about this? I talked with their attorney in Boston. He tried to defend this in two ways. Number one, saying we hired some bad apples. And number two, that actually it's the government's fault. Take a listen.
These employees, many of our employees, are very, very dedicated. Most of our employees are dedicated to getting people registered in their communities so their communities can participate in democracy. As in any business, some of them go to the McDonald's and lazy and don't do their job. Our quality control fires these people. We fire them. That's what we can do. What we also can do, how many we could fire? We have a list of about 50 people who we turned in as problematic cards. I don't know, you know. So
how many people did you fire?
I don't know. We fire people who we catch getting problematic cards, and we ask election. You know, how could
fire people in Lake County, Indiana?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
But you don't know how many?
No, I don't. But let me tell you another way that we could have helped prevent this, and that is to have election officials do their job. When we turn these cards in other cities, in other areas, in March, in April, and we ask election officials and law enforcement to prosecute our employees so that we could tell our employees that, no, this isn't just a firing offense. This is an offense that can lead you to jail. Then we could put that up in the ready rooms where we train people.
I was on the phone during that conversation, but really couldn't explain why 5,000 of these turned in, 2,100 so far fake. They're going to go through the rest of the 2,900.
It's not just like 50 mistakes. I mean, we're talking thousands of...
Right, and all dumped or placed in the registrar's office on the last few days before the deadline ended. So it wasn't like an ongoing thing where they were turning them in and you could weed out the bad ones. It all just came in at once. It was not a good idea.
We'll follow the investigation, that's for sure. Meanwhile, I mean, what happens now? I mean, is there new oversight? Are there new checks and balances?
Well, those ladies in that office are
They're going
through
through
them
every
diligently,
single
trying to
one.
make sure they're not missing any of this. The concern is the volume is so huge that they'll actually miss one and send out a voter card to Levy.
They better be
who
getting
died.
hazard pay, double pay, something. True.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Well, let's go ahead and listen in.